Hello, my friends. Good evening to you all. Today is the 14th of May 2025. How are you all doing? Yeah, I've just taken a sell trade on this Canadian dollar against the Swiss franc. So we're looking at the daily time frame, and I will just analyze the chart with you and show you what I saw and why I took a sell trade. All right. So let's get into it. So the first thing I do always is identify the trend. And as you can clearly see, we are downtrending, right, on this daily time frame. Okay, so it's downtrend. When we're downtrending, you look for a consolidation at the bottom of the trend. Yeah, so this is downtrend. All right. So we now look for a consolidation at the bottom of the trend. Yeah. So this is my consolidation that I spotted. All right. I hope you agree with me. So this is my consolidation. Why? Because we pushed down and then we started rejecting this level to the upside. We started rejecting. Yeah, we started bouncing up to the upside. Yeah. Okay. So since is that August 2024? Yeah. So since the 2nd of August 2024, we have been trading above this zone. Yeah. And then we eventually broke the zone with this bearish engulfing candle, March 7th of March 2025. So yeah, so um for good few months, um we have been trading above the level. So since August to March, I think it's about 8 months. Yeah, so for 8 months, um yeah, so we've been trading above the level. Okay, so we broke the level, and then so when we broke this level, the sellers came into the market. Okay, so before the sellers came into the market, I'll just explain what happened there. So we had this, when market came back, we had this pin bar, bullish pin bar. Okay, so this pin bar is a buy signal, and then the next day we had this bullish engulfing candle, which then confirmed to the buyers to come into the market. All right. And if you were waiting for a break above the bullish candle to take you long, this gentleman here broke above the previous day high. So you would have gone long. All right. So there were people going long right here. So if they had gone long, where would the stop be? The stops are all going to be below the pin bar. All right. And then this bearish candle came, broke, and closed. Okay. And then took out the ones that have gone long. Okay. So when we then closed, the bearish statement was basically stamped and sellers came into the market. We retraced to the level, more sellers came into the market right here. Okay. And then we then pushed up. So this push up here was basically a stop hunt to the guys that have placed us, those that have gone short here, that they have placed their stops just above their level. If you place your stop above this high, this candle high here, then obviously you are safe, because what happened was this this market did not actually pull back to take them out, then to get a supply zone right here to drop down. So the fact that this market moved all the way down here tells me that all the sellers, everyone that have gone short here, were able to take the profit. Okay, if you see my previous videos, what happened is that the market would then pull back and liquidate the sellers, and then get the supply zone and then drop to continue the downtrend. However, this template is different. All right, they pulled back and then dropped. So because of this big drop, I believe that this leg here is a pullback of this drop and not to go back to close above the level, above this level. All right, so this is a different template. um this is different from the previous videos that you've seen me do. So what I believe is that this here is a pullback. Okay, and this is the reason why I decide to go short on a lower time frame. All right, because I do not believe that this will come back, okay, to take any supply zone right here. Yeah, okay, so we'll drop down to 1 hour time frame and I'll show you where I went short. So this is 1 hour time frame. All right, so on the 1 hour time frame you can clearly see that we were making this higher high and higher lows. Yeah, we are making these higher highs and then higher lows, and then we stopped there. Yeah, we couldn't continue to make a higher high. All right, so that was the first signal on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, and then the next thing the next thing I look out for is a supply zone. So I'm looking to see a supply zone that I believe is tradable. All right, so I identified this supply zone right here. So this was the supply zone identified. Why do I think this is a supply zone? So we have this massive red candle drop. We have this base, and then we had this drop of this supply zone. Yeah. So we dropped off the level of the supply zone. So this is a supply zone that is fresh. When I say fresh, I mean that when we had this pullback here, we didn't quite get to the supply zone. Okay, I just zoomed that for you. So as you can see, these candles did not actually touch my red line, the start of my supply zone. All right, and this was the first time that we are touching the supply zone. So I took a sell just before making this video. So my trade is just gone active right now. All right, so I took a sell there. So why do I believe that the supply zone is a good zone? So what I do is when I'm taking a supply zone on a lower time frame, I look out for three things. The first thing I look out for is I ask myself, did we drop at least 2 times this level? Yeah, so this is my supply zone. Did the drop, is it at least 2 times? So this drop here, is it at least 2 times of this level? The answer is yes. Yeah, it is at least 2 times. So this drop down here is at least 2 times of these two red lines. All right, so that's the first criteria met. The second criteria is, did this supply zone take out any opposing zone to my left? So did it remove any demand zones to my left? The answer is yes. This was a demand zone here that this drop down removed. Okay, so when we dropped, it it caused this demand zone to be removed. Yeah, so when we say removed, we mean that we broke and closed below this demand zone. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's just a pip. Yeah, as long as we've broken the level this low here, that means that the supply zone took this demand zone out. So the third thing I check is the momentum or the trend line. Did the supply zone break? Was it responsible in breaking this momentum line, this trend line? Yeah, is it responsible in the break of this trend line? The answer is yes. All right, so all my three criteria were met. All right, Hence, I believe that this is a good zone to take. All right, so I've gone short right here just before I started the video. My TP, I've decided to put my TP, sorry, my stop loss above this high, just in case they decide to run this demand zone. Okay, also this is a supply zone right here. Also, this here is a supply zone. Yeah, so I'll zoom that for you. So this is a rally base drop. Yeah, so there's a possibility that they will run this zone and then grab the supply zone to the downside. It's a possibility also. So that's where my stop is right there. And then my take profit will be right at this low right there. Okay, so that is my take profit. Okay, so what we'll do is we will let the trade run, and then yeah, I'll come back to conclude the video. This will take some time. Hopefully, I'm hoping by end of next week. All right. Okay, so this is how I trade supply zones on the lower time frame. All right, I'll see you. Um, I'll see you when I conclude the video. Take care now. Bye now. Hello, my friends. Good morning. Today is the 21st of May 2025, and I'm here to conclude the Canadian Swiss franc short trade that I took a week ago. Um, we so I identified a supply zone right there, and this was where we entered short. Um, and yeah, I woke up this morning and we the profits was hit this morning. So this is a very good trade. Beautiful. All right. Yeah, so I'll try and make more of these videos for you to help you become a profitable trader. All right. Thank you for watching. Any questions, drop a comment and I'll be happy to respond. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers. Bye now.